Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ScreenBlast podcast, Classic Edition, where we watch classic movies. We're not going to call it classic. We have too many damn podcast names, but we watched a classic movie today. A couple days ago.
A few days.
We're talking about a classic movie today.
Yes, indeed.
We went to a classical theater, and we saw a good movie.
Yes.
And after we walked out from the theater, Brian was overwhelmed with positivity. He passed out, and I was like, Brian, are you okay? And I was like, where am I? You don't remember anything? And
I remembered one thing. I remembered the Alamo.
Yahoo! We went to the Alamo Draft House to see PeeWee's Playhouse. This movie was on my radar for years because it looked so creative. I was never really curious or interested in watching any PeeWee's Playhouse stuff. I remember channel surfing and seeing it on Adult Swim. It looked pretty trippy. I'm like, I'm not in the mood for watch this, and I never tried to. But I've always been hearing a lot of good things about this movie, and it's always been on my radar. And I keep forgetting to watch it, but I never have. But the recent death of Paul Rubens, rest in peace. They reminded me of this movie's existence. Wow, I want to see this movie now, and because of that, because everyone's trying to honor his death, and make some sweet quick cash. They were replaying this movie in theaters in certain theater chains, and Alamo Draft House was one of them. And so, I got my ticket, and I dragged Brian along with me to go see this movie.
Yes, indeed.
So we went, we were Maryland residents, we went all the way to Washington to see this flick. And, it was, up front, this was, you already know, this is good shit, but also, I am glad my first exposure to this movie is in a theater with an audience of people. This was a great experience.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. I thought, not only, obviously, you were going on a trek down to go to a very nice regarded theater, but simultaneously, the entire energy about this movie was given the utmost prominence at this theater. This was actually for a movie club at that Alamo Draft House location. And so I
wish I can go to so much more often, but we can only have so much time to go to Washington and back, and I don't feel like coming back to
regular.
I don't feel like getting back to Maryland at midnight every day. So
yeah, that's a tough one. So we
don't have cars, so we have to commute through public transportation, meaning we get back to places late.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's one of those things where it was definitely an additionally interesting experience because of the fact that they valued Paul Rubens so much, clearly, and so it was. I wouldn't say that the theater was I'd say about 70% packed farther toward the back of the theater, but
was it
60% packed? I'd say about half packed. 60%. I might have been overshooting it just to be nice, but 60%.
I didn't expect them to have it on the big theater.
Yeah, it was the absolute golden theater. It was their best theater, so it was very nice. But
so this was a great experience. This is the best experience we could have gotten for this movie.
Yes,
because there was other theater chains shown, and they were probably in smaller theaters.
Yeah.
But it just made it more memorable.
Absolutely.
Because if we saw this on streaming, it was just it still would have been a good watch.
But you would have lost a bit of that magic.
Yeah, but
I love the theater laughter and moments like that.
The energy is so contagious.
Yes.
And you're laughing it's just I don't know, when there's audience laughing, you laugh more.
I wouldn't sell my bike for all the money in the world, not for $100 billion, million, trillion dollars.
Then you're crazy.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're a nerd.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're an idiot.
I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? Infinity.
Yes, like I am now. So, yeah, man. Let me get into the.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the movie. We were just all laughing at you.
Oh.
I was looking at the guys behind me and the guys tapped me on the shoulder behind you. That's like, that dude you're sitting next to.
Look at that black man. Look at that black man.
Yeah, look at that black man.
He's the real. Weird. He's the real joke. All right. So, so yeah, as you said, Mark, we'll run through this rundown here. Yeah, this was a great movie, but yeah, stars Paul Rubens. It was actually, I don't say why it's at Tim Burton plural, but Tim Burton, and this is actually his first feature.
How many Tim Burtons are there?
Apparently, probably a lot. I'm gonna be honest. There's probably a lot. So this was released in '85.
There's one there. Yeah, there's a lot of wannabe Tim Burtons.
Yeah, but yeah, this released in '85. It was actually the theatrical vehicle that was based, because the Pee Wee Herman show is actually a little bit of a darker show. It's not like darker, like, you know, evil, but it's like, you know, a little more mature humor. And so
that's what. Yeah, you know, it's, I imagine so, since if it's on Adult Swim.
Yeah. So, you know, so after how popular it was, it got pushed into theaters with again, Big Adventure. Big Adventure actually was obviously toned down for wider audiences, and yeah, this is just overall, it's this fun adventure comedy where Pee-wee goes on a quest across the country to find his missing bicycle, and yeah, that's overall what you sort of run into here. And yeah, it is quite a journey. It is an interesting adventure. What did you think overall coming out of the theater, and what were some of those moments that were just so like, but I will say, by the way, there are a ton of moments here that I did not realize were references to this movie. Like, I've seen so many cartoons in my childhood that had comedy references to this movie or things Pee-wee did that I did not realize were actual pulled straight from this. That this was the source.
Well, dude, like a movie in particular, I think about like the DNA of this movie is all over the first SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
It is like structurally the first SpongeBob movie, and like fucking a little bit in all the SpongeBob movies. Honestly, it's like a little bit in all of them.
Yeah, because of all the people that tag along and assist him along the way, or the journey and the mess and the chaos and the It's
usually coherent, like
what he gets dragged into.
Yeah, adventure comedy movie.
Yeah, man, this was great. You know, there's just and again, like it's you have to, if you're coming into this and you're someone that constantly is watching like more recent content, you have to come into this understanding this is 1985. The comedy pacing's a little different, and I love 80s movies, but some people, it's like they watch an 80s movie, they're not understanding of the pace. And I think the pace actually still works. It's pretty fluid still, but you know, you're working on film that is just of a different time, and so you know you have to understand that when you go in.
Yeah, like the I haven't watched any Pee-wee stuff, but I am familiar with some of the other stuff Paul Rubens have been in.
Yeah.
Like he was they had him in like some of the cutscenes to one of the zombie modes in one of the Call of Duties. And like he's a good voice actor in that. My favorite role of his personally is he is Batmite in Batman Brave and the Bold. And he plays that role well. Batmite is probably one of the funnest characters from that show. Yeah, and he's like definitely the most memorable character from that show too, and he plays that role well. So, like I do want to look up, especially now to watch this, I do want to look up more Paul Rubens' other work. Well, just Pee-wee work in general. I do want to watch like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like after seeing this was a fun movie. This movie is like big, just like a big cartoon. Yeah, and that's what I really like about it. And it's extremely inspired, like, by cartoons, like, even, like, especially, like, 80s like, 60s, 70s Looney Tunes. It's very inspired by those, and, like, it even takes, like, designs from, like, older cartoons, like, the big red guy in, like, suspenders, who's trying to beat him up.
Yeah.
He was just Bluto from Popeye.
100%.
Like, he was just Bluto from Popeye straight up. Yeah. And that was so great.
Indeed. Yeah, it's one of those things where, I was thinking about just the fact that, you know, I was recalling, Paul Rubens' character, and it's just this adult that is essentially it's this childish interpretation and energy that you get through the whole way, and it's fun and goofy and unexpected because you just don't know where it's going to go. And I think that's the magic of it, especially as he gets further and further away from home, and you're like in these scenarios where it's like, ooh, where's this going? What's happening here? He gets into the convertible, weird guy. He sees the ghost of in the spirit in the semi truck. It's just so interesting, and I love the journey, and I love how entertaining it is.
Another endearing thing about this movie is so you start off the movie with Pee-wee, and I haven't watched anything like I said Pee-wee related before, so you're weirded out by this. Pee-wee is just this big man child, and
yes.
From your perspective, not seeing anything Pee-wee before, he's just a big weirdo.
Yes.
So
yes.
So when he gets out into the world and just still acts the way he does, what's so endearing and fun is the world just treats him as he's normal.
Yes.
And you even get he even has a rival that's also his age and also very childish. And as the movie goes on, you find out the rest of the world is just crazy too.
Some night, huh?
On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road.
But in subtle ways, or fun ways where it's a very quick joke.
Right.
Like I said, the world's a big cartoon, but there's some very fun jokes, the way people act. Hey, no, I'm in Texas, prove it, and he sings the first part of a song. Yeah, and then he brings the phone out, and everyone in Texas continues the rest of the famous Texas song. I forgot what the song is, but
yes.
That is a very funny moment.
It's a great moment.
Or we just referenced before, he is knocked unconscious by getting off a bull, and he's what are you okay, son? I don't remember anything. What do you remember? The Alamo, and all the yes. Cowboys were
yeah. It's funny because we were just doing Zom 100. I think that these characters they're not obviously one to one, but they both are comfortable in their own skin. There's a similar. There's a scene where Paul Rubin's character Pee-wee, of course, is just he's obviously at times very dense. He doesn't understand what he's getting himself into. He follows this girl from I think a diner or something into the dinosaur or whatever, and she's like, "You want to come to the dinosaur or watch the sunrise?" And doesn't realize what that looks like or could be implying visually from other people's eyes. It just doesn't matter. And instead, it's this very heartfelt moment between a woman that's just kind of stuck in a rut, and Pee-wee, who's just on this adventure trying to figure out where his bike is. And half the time he doesn't know really what he's saying or how he's saying it and how she's interpreting it, but she gains something from it in the end, and I do love that.
Yeah.
I just love how these two. We've watched two very similar characters in very similar situations. I can say. Just dealing with the world around them. So yeah, it's I love that, just again, I'm trying to think of all this just weird moments. Obviously again, can we just talk about that bike? I would ride that bike. It's so weird, but it's so awesome at the same time. And that bike is the giant plot device of the movie, but also that is a fun. This is a fun low stakes plot where his bike just went missing. That's it. Nothing complicated. Just the bike. Just the bike. Yeah, I like that. I like that when he gets really close to his bike finally. I think he's on set as a nun or something, and that whole scene is just hysterical. He's just I think I'm gonna go on a break dance. Where are you going? There you go.
Is it chased through a Warner Brothers lot? And a lot of movies after this just do that too.
Yes.
And I just I guess this, I don't know if this came before what was it, Blazing Saddles, because that also had a chase through a Warner Brothers lot.
Interesting.
I gotta compare those dates, but that also had a fun chase through Warner Brothers lot too. And like it just made me like the Warner Brothers a bit more because like there's so many movies that have chase scenes through them.
Absolutely.
Animaniacs is all about that. Because they were going through parts where I recognized from the tour I went on like last year.
Right. Yeah, man. It was just like again like you're traveling, you're interacting with people. That's it. It's just life. And again, that's really the extension here of what it is. Is just he's just living life and just and he's trying to find something that was lost or stolen or whatever happened. And
dude, I can understand the feeling for like the loss, but I would almost do the same thing for my skateboard.
Almost.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
I mean,
I wouldn't go that far.
That's really far because just good luck with that shit. Good luck.
I would search a bit for my skateboard,
but not. Like,
I wouldn't do it to the measure he did.
Yeah.
But like for my mode of transportation, like him like being upset about it, I feel that pain.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. Hey, you had a mode of transportation that's like you don't have anymore. You feel like we all feel upset about our mode of transportations we just don't have anymore.
Of course.
I just get lost.
Yeah, I mean, I miss, as you guys know, again, no sad violin moment, but, like, I have a neuromuscular disorder, so I cannot I cannot bicycle as I normally used to.
I was talking about your car. But
so, but I will say, like, in terms of bicycle, like, that's what I would love to do again. And so, in terms of, like, what I miss the most is just, I would say bicycling. And, so, yeah, like, just, not that, I wouldn't go that far to, like, oh, man, one bike. It's like, dude, no. But, like, I definitely feel them and, like, this is my thing. This is what I think is most important to me. And again, like you said before, I want to go back to the fact that you brought up, like, this is very animated, and it is inspired a lot by many animated things. I love there's the opening where, you get this very, and you've seen this in a lot of cartoons as well. You've seen this also in a lot of just kids' movies have used this.
Just gotta make sure we're good. I have to look at it.
Just to make sure, yeah. But you see this in a lot of kids' movies as well. That post Pee-wee that use the I'm a mad scientist, I'm a super smart kid. I have a pancake flipper and
two
an egg cracker.
To buy can't eat bars.
So. But you've seen that around, like you see it in live action and animation before.
Wallace and Gromit. Wallace has like he has the very same setup kind of.
Right.
Where like his like he has like Rube Goldberg machines or weird doohickeys to like start his morning.
Mm-hmm.
I love those shorts. They're still working. I think that's their next project after Chicken. Oh wait, no, they're working on it now. Chicken Run's done, but they're working on Wallace and Gromit. I can't wait for that for Wallace and Gromit.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I just think, again, it's one of those where I love going back to an era, and some, because you're gonna miss some of these moments where cinema is treated differently. Cinema is more, I can't say it's more respected, but again, like we know that the theater is not as big as it was for people in the past. It's the motion picture was so significant and continues to be, but it's one of those things where this was a good time to see an 80s movie, heart of the 80s, Tim Burton, first try, knocks it out of the park. Paul Rubens doing an awesome job.
I think it's him and Paul, like, or it's
the back and forth. You think that both of them just
because there's a trivia thing I read where it's like I think Tim Burton, it was Paul Rubens and somebody else, or it could be Tim Burton, where like they didn't know how to write a screenplay. So they look up a book on how to write a screenplay, and like they followed the rules of that book, and like this movie in like film schools and stuff is used as an example of how to write screenplays.
That's funny.
That's
actually impressive, not just funny. That's impressive. Yeah. I mean, again, like you're talking about just what you can maximize with if you just put your mind to it, and these two are since I'm flipped around, these two are great, and they do a great job, and I think. Again, like we know their lineage. They are legendary. The actors legendary. The directors legendary. And it is great to see how far they went. Especially Paul Rubens, rest in peace.
It was not Paul Rubens. It was Phil Hartman and Michael Varhol.
What are you talking about?
They were the screenplay writers of this.
Oh no, I just mean in general. But
sorry.
But thank you for updating.
Well, what was it? Yeah, they. I'm just gonna read the trivia verbatim. But like Phil Hartman and Michael Varhol. No, sorry. No,
is Phil Hartman related to Butch Hartman in any way?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
Okay.
Could just be a common last name. I hope not.
Is it two N's?
No.
Okay, never mind.
They have never written a screenplay prior to this film. Screenplays and oh shit. They purchased a book by Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
SYDFIELD. On how to write screenplays and did exactly what the book said. As a result, the movie is sometimes used in screenwriting classes because it fits the screenwriting I'm sorry, I'm illiterate. Paradigm. I'm illiterate as fuck.
I'm like trying to figure out what word you're talking about.
I pass schools through all C's.
Oh Jesus! Welcome to the ScreenBlast C pass. All right. But yeah, that's good. But yeah, like they just the team around this clearly has
almost 90 minutes long. It's a 90-page script.
Yeah. Like it's like this. If I was recommending audiences check out this or the Mario, both for 90 minutes. This is the Mario movie. Check out this. It's worth it. It's a time machine.
So I'm actually kind of glad I did not see this movie as a kid, and I'm glad I didn't see this movie like growing up. I'm glad I'm seeing it for the first time now, because we are at an age where movies are like just like filled to the brim with CG effects.
Yes.
And just like just digital effects, CG effects, digital touch-ups everywhere. And it is so goddamn refreshing to see a movie that is just like all practical. I appreciate every single type of effect I see in this scene. I love the Large Marge scene.
Head spin.
The claymation face.
Yes.
The claymation scare face is so great. It's so well done. That also, I love claymation use in these movies. That's why I appreciate that one scene in what was it? Asteroid City.
Right.
Yeah. Like that one stop motion scene, but like I appreciate that claymation face. I love that when the dinosaurs were stop motion.
Yeah.
I love all the practical effects that were in here, especially with the bike near the end. It looks so much fun.
Absolutely.
This movie was a blast to watch, and I'm glad I'm just seeing it now after we're in like an apocalyptic landscape of CG.
Well, every other year people are saying the cinema's dead, blah blah blah. It's like, all right, well, let me see what was great about cinema then. Let me see the greatness, the times when it was amazing, and seeing it in a big theater with half filled with a crowd, people cheering and laughing in certain moments. Just giggles and moments like that. That's the experience that I look for. And
yeah,
I'm glad to be involved. I'm glad to have seen that. I mean,
we get some movies here and there with like practical effects. Like that's why freaking Mission Impossible 7 was so great. That train sequence is great.
Right.
But sometimes I have trust issues with certain movies because sometimes where they say they have practical effects, I have to double take is that CG? Is that practical?
Did you claim that it's practical and do touch up later? How far?
Yeah.
I will say one of the last great practical disaster movies is Dante's Peak. We might do that at some point in terms of a watch at some point in the further future. It's a great because it's all practical. It's a disaster movie, but it's all practical.
I do like how some of the Star Wars stuff, movies and shows, they like to make a big deal that we have some practical stuff in here.
But it's mostly also come on. It's all
you guys have CG. You have a lot of CG shit too.
A lot of CG.
Pick one.
And then you're mostly touching all that stuff up with CG anyway, so it's not it's not like it was in 77. It will never be like it was in 77. So it is what it is, and that's fine.
We dug up Puppet Yoda from the attic for episode 8.
For episode 8, it looks terrible. All right, so
That could use CG. Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think this is great. Do you have any other final thoughts about this experience? I thought it was great. Again, I enjoyed it, but
I love it.
I'd
I
recommend
can't wait to see this is why I'm glad I am uncultured and haven't seen all these great movies. I still have a bucket list of them. I want my first time to see them inside of a theater with fresh eyes and a new experience.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do this with more. Guilty as charged. There's a lot of cult classic movies that have not been seen through my eyes, but hey, I'm ready to see it inside the theater. I refuse to watch 2001: A Space Odyssey on my fucking TV. I have a nice living room TV with a sound system. I'm not even gonna watch it there. I'm gonna wait until I see this in a theater for the first time.
Okay.
There's a lot of movies I'm going to hold on until I see it inside the theater.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
After this is this movie just double proves I need to see it. Some movies, some older theatrical movies just need to be seen in the theater.
That's it. That's all.
For the ultimate experience.
100%. Yeah, man. I think I agree with you. I just think sometimes obviously you're not going to be able to get that, but with others, if you can, then do it. If you can't, then check them out anyway. That's what I'd say. It's still worth it whether you can or can't. Check it out.
The only other thing I wish I can do inside of a theater is because I think this is you can only do this on certain festivals, but I would love to see the old Looney Tunes inside of a theater, because a lot of those old Looney Tunes were made for the theater, and the theater is where you're meant to watch them.
Right.
Because I know a lot of us grew up with them, watching them on Cartoon Network and stuff, but they were all made theatrically. And fuck, I wish I was gonna see those in theaters, because only in certain festivals have them, and I have to be in the know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
someday over the rainbow. That's all. All right, guys.
Go to theater, people.
All right, guys. This has been the ScreenBlast podcast,
it's classic edition.
Very regal films. You can find us on, of course, the ScreenBlast podcast on your favorite podcast service. You can find us on ScreenBlast podcast on YouTube, at ScreenBlast podcast on YouTube, and of course you can find us. You can find us doing several things, several different podcasts. Whether that's StreamBlast, which is all about streaming content, whether that's Have a Cow, which is our memified conversations, whether that's Blasting Turbo Ports, which is all about video game topics, whether that's Cartoon Chat, which is all about animation, or more from ScreenBlast, which is of course theatrical. So guys,
or you can find us at the Alamo Draft House. We're just gonna be watching a movie, sit next to us. We're gonna
maybe
we're gonna talk out loud and get kicked out.
Oh, so I see this thing. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and have a good one.
Why not, everybody?